So this week's message really was kind of zeroed in on the fact that you and I as individuals, right? I mean, the truth remains I can't change anybody else. And so I need to focus on changing myself. Now we looked at yesterday, I can help and assist another in the process of life change if they want to be helped and assisted. But first, I need to find people who are helping and assisting me to establish and refine my spiritual identity. That's my job. I want to help you and assist you to discover, establish, and refine your spiritual identity. That's called discipleship. It's the process of being formed in the image of Christ for the sake of others. So as we do that, let's think about those three things, and we'll just do one of them today, but let's think about those three things, right? That we said that if I'm investing first in myself, it's so that I can be an overflowing vessel to invest in others. But if there's not some context in which you are investing in you, you are doing the process of letting Jesus pour into you. If there's no space and place you're doing that, we have very little hope of changing anything else. Billy Graham said, until we solve the human equation called man and get him straightened out, we'll never have a peaceful world. You got to build a better man before you can build a better society. That's the idea, right? It means that if I am being changed and transformed, then I've got something to give away. Until I'm being changed, I'm just bringing a mask. I'm bringing an artificial self to everything else. And so when we show up for authentic life change, we engage in being transformed, and now we've got something to give away. I can't give away what I don't have. And so 3 investments. Invest in how you see yourself. Okay, that's what we're talking about. My book, if you haven't got my book, please pick it up, start reading it. I'll be doing ongoing groups going through my material because it's all about identity shift. It's a shifting from my false identity to my true identity in Christ. So if you haven't started reading that, I encourage you to do that. That'd be one way you could be helping yourself invest in yourself. So invest in how I see myself, recognizing the false images, the false identities that the world wants to give me, and I am very happy to take, but will never satisfy, is not really who I am. Identify them, catch and release them, replace them with what God says about who I am. How I see myself. The second one is how I behave myself. There is behavior modification. It's not just behavior modification, but there is. Jesus helps me modify my behavior. So there is how I behave myself. I get to invest in that. That's training. There's new things I can do in my behavior. Why? Because sometimes it's easier to behave my way into a new way of thinking and feeling than it is to feel or think my way into a new way of behaving. I'll say it again. Sometimes it's easier to behave myself into a new way of thinking and feeling than it is to think and feel myself into a new way of behaving. Both are necessary, but behavioral change is good. That's the second thing we'll look at. The third one is how to reproduce myself. We'll look at that later this week. And we'll continue to try to help you do that. But this thing of changing how I see myself, one of my favorite passages, really favorite passages, Colossians chapter 1, verse 21, says, once, and then he talks about the person he's writing to, the believers in Colossae, but it's true of us too. Once you were alienated from God and were enemies in your mind because of your evil behavior. But now he has reconciled you by Christ's physical body. He's reconciled you by Christ's physical body. What is that doing? He says, I'm bringing you into relationship. And then he says that we might be blameless before him without accusation. So he says there's a transformation that takes place. And when he calls us blameless and without accusation, that's not who I am at the discovery stage. At the first meeting of Jesus, I'm not blameless. Jesus was blameless, but I'm not blameless. And without accusation, there's probably people in your own family that accuse you of not being blameless, of being blamed. You probably get plenty of accusations from work or friends. And so it's not really who we are, but it is who he sees us as. That's what he's saying changes. I have a new positional place. It's called positional righteousness. Because I'm now in Jesus, I am righteous, not because of my righteousness, but because of his righteousness. Not because of what I've done, but because of what he has done. So when we come into relationship with God, immediately at the reception of the relationship, I have a new positional rightness, righteousness. I am now right with God. This is what the Bible is getting to when he says that we are justified by faith. Justified. What is justified? It's like just as if I'd never sinned. Justified. I'm clean. I'm good. I'm pure. I belong to him. I'm no longer what I used to be. I'm something new. When he brings us into his family, we are justified. Our righteousness is now in him positionally. Now, that's the work of salvation. That's the work of redemption. Now I've got to work out that redemption. I've got to work out that salvation. I've got to step into this new rightness with God, enjoy the relationship, and watch my life change. Your life can change positionally and progressively. Positionally, it changes when you know Jesus and you know who you are. When you change the way you see yourself, that you see yourself now as he sees you. That can change the way you see yourself all the time. In the midst of your failures, in the midst of the process and progression, when you're still stumbling and falling, you can still hold on to how God sees you. That God's seeing of you doesn't change based on your up and down days, based on your success or failure. His seeing you stays the same. That's the beauty of Jesus. It's love unconditionally. Brennan Manning says it like this, that when God not only knows me as I am, he sees me as I am. Therefore, because of this, I don't have to apply spiritual cosmetics to make myself presentable to God. I don't have to try to cover up who I am because he already knows me as I am and he loves me as I am. And thank God he doesn't leave me as I am. Join me. Lord Jesus, we want to take off the cosmetics, remove the masks. Enjoy this position that we have in you, that we are yours. We have been made righteous by what you have done, not what we have done. We embrace this, Lord Jesus, this positional rightness, so we can now give effort towards walking out progressively this relationship that we have with you, systematically training ourselves to be more like you, to let go of the old, and to embrace the new. We love you, Lord. Give us strength and energy as daily we seek to focus on this task. I will see you tomorrow.